Arise, ye tarnished. It's finally time. I've saved up 500 event tokens because you know I'm not spending my other hard-earned gambled tokens on Frankie. And we're going to be picking up Franklin's 4-star artifact from the Fantastic Four event. Now, just before we talk about just before we go into all the testing and stuff for the Fantastic Four, I may have to do 2 videos on this. Who knows? Maybe even 3 if they're really good. I do want to highlight that this is one of the better token events for the artifacts. This is one of the better artifact selectors that we've had because you have sentries. That's a big number 1. So number 1 at the top is Sentry. You have his artifact. But then you also have Satana's support artifact, which if you didn't get it from previous events and stuff like that, is also very, very strong if you have her seasonal uniform. Then you also have Hulk, which if you're building Hulk, if you got his uniform, his new Titan uniform, and you don't have his artifact for whatever reason, it's very, very hard to get Hulk's artifact at this stage in the game. It was much easier to get when the pool was much smaller, like 2 years ago, right? So you actually have a lot of options. You even have Ebony's option for support for the Black Order. You even have Quicksilver's. There's quite some good ones, right? And then even Scarlet Witch and stuff. You have a lot of meta characters. Keep in mind the ones at the top, I believe, echo through to Hellstorm. Maybe even, I don't know where the cutoff is, but at least that top row is going to disappear after the next update. You're not going to be able to choose them anymore because they have to push out the old ones and put in the new ones. But yeah, Sentry and Quicksilver will be here for at least another 2 update cycles. But in the meantime, Pocket Universe, we get that immortality passive to all Fantastic Four allies. This is a really bittersweet thing to do because I know that the 4-star is not as good as the 6-star. I'm acutely aware of this. I know people in the comments are going to be saying, "Lol, he got the wrong one. It's only 2 seconds. It goes up to 4 seconds for the 6-star one." I urge the devs, based on the performance of this video, I urge the devs to look into this. Because it really is going to make or break whether this artifact is worth it. And I really like the idea. I really like the idea of having a very OP effect on one character and that effect enabling a playstyle that's otherwise not enabled, especially because now we know Invisible Man and Mr. Fantastic are actually decent in PvE, so you don't need this by default. But nevertheless, okay, he's got no custom gear. We're going to go ahead and give him a Mighty Conquest. We have these 2 rolls here. We're going to give him the one with more damage. I think his defense is pretty good. So Mr. Fantastic, level 80 with a Mighty Conquest. The Uru is not great, I'll be honest with you. I can make a couple of changes here quickly, but I'm not going to give him I'm not going to go ahead and give him the Heal Odin's Blessing just yet. Again, if they're good, I'll give him the Heal Odin's Blessing. I don't know why it's not doing that. Okay, there we go. I'm still brain damaged from yesterday's debate, so, yeah. Dodge over 8 HP over dodge and HP over crit damage. All right. So, okay, he's got 8 HP Urus now. He's got 114,000 HP. And then Invisible Woman, I think her Urus are so much worse. Okay, it is what it is. But we do have her artifact. I pulled it for free. From the logins. Right now, yeah, she's got just a mind damage 160 proc. We're also going to switch that to a Mighty Authority. I kind of wanted to give her a Brilliant Authority because I do have 2 of those, but we're going to start with a Mighty Authority and just build from there. But yeah, so we do have confirmed now full PvP build on all 3 of them. And then, of course, we have the Mighty Regen. Again, these could be better PvP builds. Sure, they could be better PvP builds. You know what? They could also make this team better for PvP. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually just going to search for opponent. This is what I do with my default teams. Not my default teams, but actually, I should have refreshed that first team because it's going to be okay, yeah, this first team is such a joke, dude. Also, keep in mind for this team, you're going to... crazy how Whiplash gets that attack off because Franklin doesn't have iframe ignore. So sad. So sad. Keep in mind that for this team, you want to put Mr. Fantastic in the lead so that they get the attack buff. The Fantastic Four get the attack buff, but you want to put Franklin as the dealer to come in first. You want to stall out as long as you can to whittle down that cooldown on Mr. Fantastic's third skill, so that he can pop that off. Because, Mr. Fantastic's third skill is really the bread and butter here. So Yeah, Franklin is going to die pretty much immediately. Well, he's going to get the artifact triggered, and then he's going to die a couple seconds later, whatever. He does literally 0 damage to Sentry. Actually, okay, he does a little bit of damage to Sentry. He actually kills Sentry. Oh, this is a tier 3, level 76 Sentry. I knew something was wrong. I just had to look to the right of my screen. I'm too busy looking to the left, seeing when he dies. He kills Sentry again. Wow, okay, so he's actually going to eat Wolverine's 5th skill, which is actually very useful, because now Mr. Fan can come in and and pop off the Awakening. My bad, guys. I gotta turn that shit off. I always forget. Okay, this was another joke team. I realize now they have Venom. The thing, the power saving thing, man, annoying. Okay, here's a real team. Okay, that's 2 tier 4s and a tier 3. All right, not off to a good start here. I really should have just refreshed all these matches. But yeah, then people would accuse me of like choosing particular teams. All right, here we go. Franklin versus Adam. Okay, he gets decimated. Here we go. We're gonna pop the 3rd skill. Okay, I'm dead. Okay. Okay, he died. All right. This is a tier 3 Adam, by the way, not a tier 4 Adam. Okay, Invisible Woman gets the 1st kill. Nice. Okay, she tanks the wake up. She doesn't have iframe ignore. Remember that. She gets her artifact triggered. She doesn't have iframe ignore. She does not have okay, I'm dead. All right, so we just got soloed by a tier 3 Adam Warlock whose uniform was released a year ago. Very cool, guys. Very cool, very cool. Tier 3 Adam Warlock from last year solos the Epic Quest character, the Deluxe Pack character, the $40 Franklin, and the artifact. And 3 Mighty CTPs. Very cool. Okay, this is another tier 3 Adam Warlock. Honestly, I think what this video is going to do is this is going to put us back about 6 months in the conversation about Adam Warlock being washed for PvP. Because people are going to see this and they're going to be like, yo, I'm going to get Adam Warlock during Black Friday. Don't get Adam Warlock during Black Friday. Okay, trust me. This is more indicative of how bad the Fantastic Four are. This is not indicative of how good Adam is. Now, that Sentry just got one-shotted, yes. But okay, we're dead. All right. So again, we basically get soloed by Adam Warlock, more or less. And this is essentially the problem. So I don't know what. And again, so the best part about those last 2 matches was it wasn't a tier 4 versus a tier 3, right? I can absolutely understand people, getting frustrated, being like, Alex, these comparisons are not fair. You're comparing tier 3s to tier 4s. Those were tier 3s versus tier 3s. So. And look, his damage, bro. He can't even get him to half, bro. Okay, she's popping the Awakening. She's got no penetration, so it doesn't do any damage. Okay, very cool. Her artifact's triggered. This fight, we're not even going to get Sentry below 50%. Doesn't even get Sentry below 50%. Yep. Like, what are you expecting? What really were the devs expecting, right? What were they really expecting? Did they test this team at all? I don't think they genuinely. I don't think they tested this team. I think there's 1 or 2 people that work, on the game that are very trusted because they know the numbers, and I think they just trust those workers, whether they have like high seniority or nepotism or something, right? They trust those workers when they say, oh, this is a good build. This is good for the meta of the game. They trust those people, and then we get shit like this, where no one is actually running the numbers, checking the math. No one is actually testing these things live and seeing how they work in the pre-build and saying, hey, you know what? This team is actually really bad. We need to do something else here. We need to buff something. So, if nothing else, I hope this video really illustrates that these characters need to be buffed. So yeah, Invisible Woman just kills herself immediately to the Reflect. After a tier 3 Silver Surfer just switches in. Okay, I'm kind of tired of getting beat. So we had 2 wins there. One of the wins was against a freebie team of tier 2 Whiplash, tier 2 Cassie, and tier 2 Wiccan. The other one was basically a freebie against what? Tier 3 Wolverine, tier 3 Sentry, and some other shit. Okay, so that was a fucking disaster. Okay, that was a disaster. Now, I'm 4290 right now in Otherworld Battle, which is good for, what? 64th place. Okay, so I'm in the top 100 for Otherworld Battle. with this team right here. We've got Tier 4 Hela with Tier 4 Ghost Rider. We've got Rachel, Carnage, and Strife. Now, I'll admit this team is pretty expensive, right? Because we got multiple Tier 4s. We've got, Rachel. But we don't have any Deluxe Pack Epic Quest characters. We only have Strife, right? Okay, cool. So we're going to go ahead and switch to the Fantastic Four. You know what's coming, guys. You know what's coming, all right? Oh, never mind. Miss Fantastic is debuffed. Of course. What a classic. What a classic. That's actually crazy. Okay. We're going to go ahead and put Valeria there because she does have a support ability. And then we're going to finish off with Mr. Fantastic and I guess Human Torch. No, not Human Torch. Thing. All right. And Franklin's going to be up in the front there, clowning it up. All right. Full Fantastic Four team. Let's go ahead and do 5 matches. And again, like, most players can't afford to make these tests. So the devs need to look at this and need to think long and hard, right, about what it is that they want to do, you know? Like, what's really the plan here, you know? Okay, I'm just good. Yeah, okay. So they're getting clowned, to the surprise of no one. We haven't even triggered an... Oh, we triggered... Okay, we finally triggered their artifacts. Good. I was going to say we hadn't even triggered an artifact yet. Okay, we triggered his. Okay, we triggered every... Okay, and it's over. So nobody died. Nobody died on the other team. Awesome. Awesome. That was good. That was a good first run. No one died on the enemy team. Not a single death. Good job, guys. All right, sick. Cool. No doubt, no doubt. Now, for sure, these matches are going to be harder than the timeline matches because, as you can see, I'm facing higher quality opponents. However, it is a 5v5 scenario, so I'm able to source more buffs, right? We have buffs from Invisible Woman, we have buffs from Thing, and we have buffs from Valeria, right? We have 3 characters who apply exclusive buffs only to the Fantastic Four. Not a single person on the enemy team died. Very cool. At this point, I almost want the power saving mode to come on to save me from the embarrassment of getting destroyed so, fantastically. Here we go. Another basically tier 4 team with, very little synergy. Again, I don't want to... I feel like I'm going to force the game to go down the route of Marvel Strike Force. I don't want Marvel Future Fight to be only about synergies, right? I think that's a bad design choice. I like the fact that we can have these sort of mishmash teams that don't really have synergy, but they can still be good because they're made up of individual pieces that are good, right? I don't think that Marvel Future Fight should go down the route of Marvel Strike Force, where everything is like only team synergies, right? You're only making the Ghost Rider team, you're only making the Fantastic Four team, you're only making the Spider-Verse team, and nothing else. Because that's going to sound really good at first, and that's going to seem really cool for the first, 6 months, a year, maybe 2. But then it's going to get really boring really fast. And then you'll have the opposite problem, where whenever a character is released, if they don't immediately plug into an existing synergy, or if they don't immediately establish a very strong new team synergy, they'll be worthless. They will be worthless. And I don't want that either. So as much as these guys are getting destroyed, I need the devs to sort of find a happy middle ground, right? They need to find a happy middle ground where, the team synergies are worth it without being so overpowered. And I think they can do that with just some small tweaks, small tweaks here and there. So I think... by the way, just to be clear here, this team is not worth investing in unless you're willing to go to tier 4. I hope I've made that abundantly clear, right? I have very good cards. I have very good swords for PvP. There's no reason why I should be getting clowned that hard with a team that has almighty CTPs, unless there's something wrong with the team. So I think what the devs need to do is they need to tweak his artifact so that it lasts longer. It should be 4 seconds at 4 stars, which is the typical time for immortality, because immortality goes all the way up to 6 seconds at 6 stars, right? It starts at, or sorry, 7 seconds. Sorry, it goes up to 7 seconds at 6 stars. So I'm not even saying it should be the same. I'm just saying it should be 6 seconds at 6 stars, 5 seconds at 5 stars, and 4 seconds at 4 stars. I think that's the first change they need to make. And then the second change they need to make is they need to give these other characters that they genuinely meant for PvP, give them iframe ignore. What's going on? Right? I noticed that lately only native tier 2 characters are getting iframe ignore. What's up with that? Right? It's not really fair. And even with Mr. Fantastic's iframe ignore skill, if you look at Commander's in-depth video or you talk to other in-depth PvP analysts, they tell you that his third skill doesn't target very well. And sometimes it misses the target completely. What's the point of the skill then if it's missing the target? The whole point of a counter skill is that it counters. If it's missing, then it's not countering. So right now, Mr. Fantastic kind of reminds me of pre-Deaths of X Wolverine when he got this uniform and people were like, oh man, he's going to be so good for PvP. And he just wasn't. He wasn't good enough because his third skill counterattack just wasn't consistent. It wasn't. And so they fixed that with this uniform by saying, screw the counterattack. We're just going to give him a long-ass iframe ignore skill with penetration. And it worked. And Wolverine's amazing. So maybe that's what we're looking at. Maybe we're looking at the intro to the Fantastic Four, and next year during the movie, they're going to give them insane PvP uniforms, and there's going to be a Fantastic Four renaissance. Maybe that's going to happen. Who knows? It's kind of annoying for people who invested in them now, like yours truly, but if I saved somebody the investment, it's worth it. Anyways, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.